Confidence is everything. Confidence is good for the group, and it's also contagious. You better come ready to play every single night because everybody's going to give you the best shot.
Did you catch Caitlin Clark's latest performance? If you didn't, let me fill you in. Caitlin Clark just left Angel Reese and Diana Taurasi in the dust with a performance that will go down in WNBA history. Clark isn't just a top contender for Rookie of the Year anymore. She's rewriting the script on what it means to be a game changer in this league. Critics doubted her, but last night she silenced every last one of them. Ready to dive into the stats that shook the WNBA to its core? Let's get into it. Caitlin Clark's journey this season has been nothing short of extraordinary, and her latest game is the perfect showcase of her rising dominance. Going up against the Phoenix Mercury, Clark put on a clinic, and it was a game that fans and her critics won't soon forget. Playing 36 minutes, Clark scored a jaw-dropping 29 points, but she didn't stop there. She also racked up 5 rebounds and a whopping 10 assists. That's not just good, that's elite. Her performance wasn't just about putting points on the board. Those 10 assists demonstrate her incredible playmaking skills. Caitlin Clark isn't just a scorer, she's a facilitator, making everyone around her better. And those 5 rebounds? It's clear she's willing to get her hands dirty, fighting for every loose ball, showing just how well-rounded her game is. But let's not just focus on Clark. Let's see how Angel Reese and Diana Taurasi stacked up in their recent games. Starting with Angel Reese, she's been a force on the court, especially in the rebounding department. In her latest game against the Los Angeles Sparks, Reese dominated with 12 rebounds per game and added 13.4 points to her team's effort. That's consistency, that's power, and that's why she's a key player for Chicago. Reese's versatility is evident, with her contributing 1.8 assists per game and being a defensive nightmare with 1.4 steals. Her presence in the paint is unmatched, and she's proved time and again why she's one of the WNBA's top talents. But when we put her stats side by side with Clark's, the debate over who deserves Rookie of the Year gets even more intense. Now let's talk about Diana Taurasi. She's a legend in the game, no doubt, but even legends have their off days. Taurasi's performance against the Indiana Fever raised a lot of eyebrows. Playing 33 minutes, she scored 16 points. Not bad, but far from the dominance we've come to expect from her. What's more concerning is her lack of contribution elsewhere. Just 3 rebounds and 4 assists. For a player of her caliber, those numbers are underwhelming, to say the least. Taurasi has been a cornerstone of the WNBA, but as the game evolves, so do the players. Clark is not just the future, she's the present. And her performance against Phoenix is proof that she's ready to carry that torch. Comparing these 3 players is almost unfair, but the numbers don't lie. Clark's 29 points, 10 assists, and 5 rebounds in a single game outshined Taurasi's 16 points and Reese's solid, but not spectacular, performance. Clark is setting a new standard in the WNBA, and it's time everyone else took notice. Let's break down the season stats to put this debate to rest. Clark is averaging 17.6 points per game this season, a testament to her consistency and scoring ability. Meanwhile, Reese averages 13.4 points per game, with her main strength being in rebounding. And Taurasi, despite her legendary status, is averaging 15.9 points per game. Solid, but not enough to eclipse the rising star that is Caitlin Clark. Clark's shooting stats also speak volumes. A 40.9% field goal percentage, 32.9% from beyond the arc, and an outstanding 89.2% from the free throw line make her a deadly threat from anywhere on the court. Her playmaking ability shines with 8.3 assists per game, but it's her all-around game that sets her apart. 5.8 rebounds per game and an active defensive presence with 1.4 steals and 0.8 blocks per game. In comparison, Reese's rebounding dominance is clear, but her 39.3% field goal percentage and limited 3-point shooting show where she falls short. Taurasi, while still a sharpshooter from 3, doesn't match Clark's versatility or impact on the game. The verdict is clear. Caitlin Clark is the best, and the stats back it up. Whether you're a fan of Angel Reese, Diana Taurasi, or even if you're just a casual WNBA watcher, it's time to acknowledge that Clark is not just another player. She's a superstar in the making. But here's the kicker. Rumors are swirling that Caitlin Clark might be looking to join another team. What could that mean for the league? And what about her future matchups with Reese and Taurasi? If you thought tonight's game was intense, just wait until you see what's coming next. Make sure you stay tuned because this WNBA season is far from over and Caitlin Clark is just getting started.
Hey Caitlin, Tisha here. Congratulations. A record that stood since 1998, and you come here and you break it. Continue to do what you do. Continue to elevate your game and the women's game and the WNBA. Congratulations, super proud of you.
The WNBA just witnessed history as Caitlin Clark, the rookie phenom, set a new record for the most assists in a single season by a rookie. In a dominating performance against the Seattle Storm, Clark not only led the Indiana Fever to a resounding victory, but also surpassed a record that had stood for over 2 decades. With 226 assists and counting, Clark is redefining what it means to be a rookie in the WNBA. But this record-breaking night was more than just numbers. It was a statement. Let's dive into how Caitlin Clark is changing the game. On a night that will be remembered for years to come, Caitlin Clark didn't just play basketball, she made history. With her 226th assist, Clark set a new WNBA rookie record, surpassing the previous mark set by Ticha Penicheiro in 1998. What makes this achievement even more remarkable is that Clark did it in just 28 games, 2 fewer than Penicheiro needed to set the original record. And with 12 games left in the season, Clark is poised to push this record into uncharted territory. Her record-breaking assist came in spectacular fashion as she delivered a pinpoint pass to Kelsey Mitchell, who finished with a layup that brought the Gainbridge Fieldhouse crowd to its feet. But the night wasn't all smooth sailing for the Fever. They started off slow, scoring just 13 points in the first quarter, tying their season low. The Storm's defense was suffocating, and Clark struggled to find her rhythm early on, missing all 5 of her 3-point attempts in the first half. However, as champions do, Clark and the Fever didn't stay down for long. They found their groove in the second quarter, going on a 12-5 run that gave them a narrow lead at halftime. It was a game that tested their resilience, but the Fever proved they were up for the challenge. The real magic happened in the fourth quarter. After a back-and-forth battle, the Fever's offense exploded, outscoring the Storm 33-17 in the final period. Caitlin Clark was at the heart of the surge, orchestrating the offense with precision and confidence. Lexi Hull also stepped up, hitting 6 3-pointers and finishing with a career-high 22 points. The Fever's late-game heroics ensured a comfortable 92-75 victory, marking their first win against the Storm this season after 3 previous losses. It was a performance that showcased the Fever's potential and highlighted why Caitlin Clark is a force to be reckoned with. This game was just the latest chapter in what has been an extraordinary rookie season for Caitlin Clark. She has already set multiple records, including becoming the first rookie in WNBA history to record multiple games with 25 points and 10 assists. Her 19-assist game against the Dallas Wings earlier this season was another record-breaking performance, and she became the first rookie to achieve a triple-double. Clark's ability to consistently deliver in high-pressure situations is what sets her apart. And it's clear that she's not just a star in the making. She's already shining brightly. But it's not just about the stats. Caitlin Clark's impact goes far beyond the numbers. She's bringing a new level of excitement to the WNBA, drawing in fans with her electrifying play and her ability to elevate those around her. Even Ticha Penicheiro, the former record holder, took to social media to praise Clark, calling her a player who is pushing the boundaries of the game and an inspiration not only in the WNBA, but in the entire realm of women's basketball.
Hey Caitlin, Tisha here. Congratulations. A record that stood since 1998, and you come here and you break it. Super proud of you. I know the work that you've put in. A lot of people always talked about your shooting. I was always mesmerized about your passing, your court vision, and how you make your teammates better. So this record is in great hands, and continue to do what you do. Continue to elevate your game and the women's game and the WNBA. Congratulations, super proud of you.
Clark's influence is undeniable, and as she continues to shatter records and lead her team, she's also helping to grow the league and inspire the next generation of players. With 12 games left in the regular season, the Indiana Fever are in a prime position to make a playoff push. Clark's leadership, combined with the strong play of her teammates like Kelsey Mitchell and Aaliyah Boston, gives the Fever a solid foundation to build on. However, there are still challenges ahead. The Fever's second-half collapse against the Storm is a reminder that they need to maintain focus and intensity for the full 40 minutes if they want to compete with the best teams in the league. But with Clark at the helm, the Fever have the potential to surprise a lot of people come playoff time. As Caitlin Clark continues to rewrite the history books, the question remains, how far can she take this Indiana Fever team? With the Rookie of the Year award seemingly within her grasp and the playoffs on the horizon, the pressure is only going to increase. Can Clark and the Fever maintain their momentum and make a deep postseason run? Or will the challenges of being a young team catch up to them? One thing's for sure, this season is far from over, and Caitlin Clark is just getting started. Let us know in the comments what you think. Can Clark lead the Fever to the playoffs? And don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell to stay updated on all the latest WNBA action. The best is yet to come.
All the money and visibility she bring into the WNBA. Don't be petty like dudes. Stop being petty, all you women out there. She bringing all y'all this money to the table, but y'all being petty like dudes. LeBron, you are 100% right.
They said she was just a rookie, but Caitlin Clark has become the talk of the WNBA, and not just for her game. Caitlin Clark, the 22-year-old rookie sensation, has been breaking records, drawing massive crowds, and boosting viewership like no one else in recent memory. But with fame comes an unexpected price: hate and animosity from within her own league. Today, we're diving into the heated reactions Caitlin's been facing, including a powerful response from none other than LeBron James. Let's start with the undeniable: Caitlin Clark is a force. With stats that rival some of the best in the league, she's already being compared to legends. This season alone, Clark has outshot NBA stars from beyond the arc and set records as the fastest player to reach 250 points and 100 assists in WNBA history. Her influence has transformed the WNBA's visibility, drawing in millions of new viewers and packing arenas across the country. But with all this success, something else has been brewing beneath the surface: jealousy, criticism, and outright hostility. Why? Because Caitlin Clark is doing something the league has never seen before, and not everyone is thrilled about it. LeBron James, a superstar who knows a thing or two about dealing with haters, saw this coming from miles away. Years before Caitlin even stepped onto a WNBA court, LeBron predicted that her talent and fame would make her a target. And just as he warned, the backlash has been fierce. Clark's presence has sparked a mix of admiration and resentment. Veterans of the league, like DeWanna Bonner and Kennedy Carter, haven't held back in expressing their frustrations, sometimes even on the court. Whether it's flopping, mocking, or throwing shade on social media, these players have made it clear that they're not ready to give Caitlin a warm welcome. For instance, a flagrant foul by Kennedy Carter and social media mockery by Delisha Lloyd are just some of the incidents that have highlighted the growing animosity towards Clark. One of the more controversial aspects of Caitlin's rise has been the discussion around pretty privilege and white privilege. Some commentators and players have insinuated that Clark's marketability and appeal are due more to her looks and race than her skills. This narrative has only added fuel to the fire as Caitlin continues to dominate headlines and secure sponsorship deals that have eluded other players for years. Despite this, Clark remains focused on her game, refusing to let the noise distract her. But as the pressure mounts, so does the scrutiny. Critics like Cheryl Swoops and Breanna Stewart have even questioned the legitimacy of her records, pointing to the extra year of eligibility and the lack of a championship as reasons to downplay her achievements. Enter LeBron James again, this time stepping in to defend Caitlin against the rising tide of negativity. LeBron knows all too well what it's like to be the most hated and the most loved at the same time. He sees Caitlin not just as a player, but as a symbol of something bigger, a new era for the WNBA, where talent and impact can't be ignored. LeBron has been vocal in his support for Clark, repeatedly calling out the haters and urging them to respect her game and the excitement she's bringing to the league. On his podcast, Mind the Game, LeBron offered Caitlin some sage advice.
Put your blinders on, go to work, show up to work, punch your clock in, prepare yourself.
He emphasized the importance of focusing on her craft and learning from experienced players rather than getting bogged down by negativity. LeBron's advice is simple but powerful. Keep your mouth shut and let your game do the talking. LeBron isn't alone in this. NBA legends like Shaquille O'Neal and Charles Barkley have also come to Caitlyn's defense. Barkley on TNT labeled the critics as petty and urged them to stop and thank Clark for the increased visibility and money she's bringing to the WNBA.
All the money and visibility she bringing to the WNBA. Don't be petty like dudes. Listen, what she's accomplished, give her flowers. Stop being petty, all you women out there. She got y'all ass charters. She bringing all y'all this money to the table, but y'all being petty like dudes. LeBron, you are 100% right.
Other NBA players such as Gilbert Arenas and Nick Young have echoed similar sentiments, rallying behind Clark and highlighting the professional jealousy that seems to be driving some of the harshest criticism. Yet as Caitlin Clark continues to shine, the pressure to conform to the expectations of her critics grows. The WNBA is a league that prides itself on unity and empowerment, but Caitlin's presence has highlighted a divide, one that pits tradition against change and players against each other. LeBron's message is clear. Caitlin Clark is here to stay, and the league will either adapt or miss out on the opportunities she's creating. But can Caitlin withstand the relentless scrutiny, or will the pressure to fit in with the established order dull her shine? Before Caitlin even set foot on a WNBA court, she was already a household name in college basketball. Her dominance at the NCAA level was nothing short of legendary. In her freshman year, she shattered records for assists and points, becoming the fastest Big Ten player to reach 1,000 career points. Her scoring abilities drew comparisons to NBA sharpshooters, and she quickly became known as the Steph Curry of women's basketball. Her sophomore and junior seasons only solidified her status as a generational talent. She was the first player in NCAA history, male or female, to record consecutive 40-point triple-doubles in the tournament, and her 191 total points in a single tournament remain unmatched. With each game, the expectations for her professional career grew, and so did the pressure to live up to the hype. But with her success came the inevitable backlash. Critics began to scrutinize her every move, questioning whether she could maintain her level of play in the WNBA. As she transitioned from college to the pros, the weight of those expectations seemed to intensify the animosity from her peers. LeBron James's support for Caitlin Clark is more than just a show of solidarity. It's a powerful endorsement from one of the greatest players of all time. By publicly backing Caitlin, LeBron is sending a message to the entire basketball community. Caitlin Clark is not just another rookie, she's a game changer, and she deserves respect. LeBron's defense of Caitlin also stems from a personal place. He has compared Caitlin's experience to that of his own son, Bronny James, who is also facing significant scrutiny and criticism as he pursues his dreams of entering the NBA. On his podcast, LeBron expressed empathy for Caitlin, saying,
Because I'm getting the same, thing from watching my son, who's a 19-year-old, kind of getting a lot of animosity and hatred towards him when he's just a kid trying to live out his dream.
He highlighted the rarity of opportunities to play professional sports and criticized the negativity directed at young athletes like Caitlin and Bronny. LeBron's comments underscore the challenges young athletes face, regardless of their gender or the sports they play. The pressures are immense, and the scrutiny is constant. Yet LeBron remains optimistic about Caitlin's future, urging her to stay focused and continue pushing the boundaries of what's possible in the WNBA. And that's the real question. How much can one player take before it all becomes too much? As Caitlin Clark faces the toughest challenge of her young career, the entire WNBA and the world are watching. Will she rise above, or will the weight of expectations and animosity bring her down? Only time will tell. If you think the Caitlin Clark saga ends here, think again. In our next video, we'll dive deeper into the rising tensions within the WNBA and how Caitlin's journey could reshape the future of the league forever. Stay tuned. Imagine this. Caitlin Clark, fresh off her historic college run, steps onto the court. The crowd roars, but in seconds, she's slammed to the floor. Not once, not twice, but 3 times. Is this just tough love from seasoned pros? Or is the WNBA targeting its newest star? Today, we're diving into the league's roughest plays and how one rookie sensation might be getting more than her fair share of hard knocks. Caitlin Clark's transition to the pros? It's been anything but smooth. The WNBA has always been known for its physical style of play. It's part of what makes the game exciting. But lately, fans and analysts alike are wondering, has it gone too far? Let's rewind to the start of the 2024 season. Caitlin Clark, fresh off her record-breaking college career, steps onto the court for her pro debut. The anticipation is electric, but what happens next shocks everyone. Within the first quarter, Clark is knocked to the ground 3 times. Hard. We're talking bone-rattling hits that leave her visibly shaken. Is this just tough defense or something more? Physical play isn't new in women's basketball. Legends like Lisa Leslie and Cheryl Swoops faced their share of rough treatment. But the game has evolved, and so have the players. They're stronger, faster, and more skilled than ever before. But here's where things get alarming. In just 10 games, Clark's been fouled an average of 7.2 times per game, nearly double the league average. This isn't just rough play, it's an onslaught. Take the game against the Chicago Sky. Midway through the third quarter, Clark drives to the basket. As she goes up for the layup, Chennedy Carter crashes into her, shoulder-checking Clark and sending her hard to the floor. The foul wasn't even called initially, igniting controversy and raising questions about whether officials are turning a blind eye. Clark's stats tell the story. She's been whistled for 32 personal fouls this season, 4th most in the league, and involved in 78 total foul calls, the highest of any player. This isn't just about playing hard, it's about targeted aggression. In a recent game against the New York Liberty, Clark found herself in another precarious situation. After being hit on a screen, she signaled to her ear, clearly in discomfort. She briefly left the game, reportedly dealing with temporary hearing issues, before returning to the court. This incident, among others, has sparked a debate. Is Caitlin Clark being unfairly targeted and even bullied by veteran players who might resent her immense popularity and hype? Critics argue this is just part of the game. She needs to toughen up, they say. But is that fair? Or is Clark being singled out because of her star power? Let's take a look at her fellow rookie stars. While they've faced physical play, none have been body-checked, double-teamed, and left on the hardwood like Clark. Why the special treatment? Even the WNBA's response has been criticized as tepid. Commissioner Adam Silver downplayed the situation, dismissing the rough play as a welcome-to-the-league moment. But for many, this explanation isn't enough. The calls to protect Clark and other young stars from overly aggressive tactics that could lead to injuries are growing louder. It's not just about Clark. The overall level of physicality in the WNBA has been ramping up for years. Players are getting injured more frequently. Games are becoming more about brute force than skill and finesse. Take the recent matchup between the Las Vegas Aces and the Connecticut Sun. What should have been a showcase of elite talent turned into a slugfest. By the final buzzer, 3 players had left the game with injuries. So what's driving this trend? Some point to the increased stakes. With more money and media attention in women's basketball, the pressure to win has never been higher. Others argue it's a natural evolution of the sport as players get stronger and more athletic. But there's a fine line between tough competition and dangerous play, and right now that line is getting blurrier by the game. Let's circle back to Clark. Despite the rough treatment, she's still putting up impressive numbers. But at what cost? In a post-game interview, Clark admitted, "Sometimes it feels like I'm playing football out there." She acknowledges she'll take a few hard shots per game and tries not to let it bother her, accepting it as part of the rookie initiation process. But how long can this go on? This isn't just about one player, it's about the future of the league. If rising stars like Clark are constantly at risk, what message does this send to young talent? And what does it mean for the future of the WNBA, where fans come to witness skill, not skirmishes? Fans tune in to see amazing athletes perform at the highest level. They want to see Clark's incredible three-pointers, not watch her pick herself up off the floor time and time again. The treatment Clark has endured highlights a broader issue: the challenges young phenoms face when entering professional sports leagues. Veteran players, perhaps threatened by the new wave of talent, might resort to physicality to maintain their dominance. But should this be the norm? Let's consider the impact on the WNBA as a whole. If the league doesn't address these aggressive tactics, it risks alienating both current and future stars. The excitement of watching top-tier talent could be overshadowed by concerns for player safety. So, what's the solution? Some are calling for stricter enforcement of existing rules. Others want new regulations specifically targeting excessive physical play. There's even talk of implementing harsher penalties for flagrant fouls to deter overly aggressive behavior. The league is at a crossroads. As the WNBA continues to grow in popularity, it needs to decide what kind of game it wants to be: a showcase of skill and athleticism, or a physical battle where only the toughest survive? The debate around physicality in the WNBA isn't just heating up, it's boiling over. And Caitlin Clark? She's at the center of the storm. Will the league crack down, or will the hits keep coming? One thing's for sure: every time Clark takes the court, it's not just her shots we're watching, it's the battle she's fighting to play her game.